You know, someone whispered in my ear that I should have a bunch of books as my backdrop so I look studious. I guess smart. Someone you should pay attention to. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a simple man with simple pleasures. So even if I read all those books, that would make me an authority. If I read Elon Musk's top 10 favorite books, I'd be as smart as him. My 2 cents on this: be very, very careful with someone who has books as a backdrop. What are they really trying to tell you? Or as my mentor told me a long time ago, when you walk into an office and someone has CEO president on their desk, walk right out, do business with someone else. All right, with that said, headlines all over the place. People are freaking out. 450,000 borrowers underwater. Oh my God. 350 million people in the United States. 6 out of 10 borrowers who owe more on their mortgage than their homes are worth bought or refinanced their homes in 2022. That's according to the latest data from my favorite Black Knight, Mortgage Monitor. Bottom line, risk among earlier purchases is essentially non-existent given the large equity cushions before or early during the pandemic these mortgage holders are sitting on. More recent home buyers, as far as the equity position, don't fare as well. But we're gonna wrap this up in a nice bow at the end. So don't have heartburn right now. Look at this chart. So among the 450 homes that Black Knight estimates were underwater as of September 30th, 250,000 were owned by borrowers who purchased in 2022. Roughly 5% of homes purchased or refinanced this year are underwater, and another 19% have less than 10% equity. In 2021, only 1% of homes purchased or refinanced are underwater, while 3% have less than 10% equity. So the bottom line is, key takeaways of this: 80% of major markets have now begun to see, prices come off their peaks. How high did they go, ladies and gentlemen? Been very lucky. Of the 450K mortgage homes underwater at the end of the third quarter, nearly 60% are loans that originated in 2022. More than 250K borrowers who purchased in 2022 owe more than their home is now worth. So lower negative equity may have a marginal effect on mortgage performance in the near term. So let me just say, I think this needs to be said. The housing market plays an important role in the overall U.S. economy on an individual level and in the broader economy. Anyone who has been involved in the housing space long enough knows that the market is cyclical space. Lower interest rates often drive an increase in home buying activity as consumers' buying power increases. Conversely, higher interest rates often cause a downturn in the buyer demand. That's the holistic perspective. We can get into the nuggets. So U.S. listings of homes for sale got pulled a record clip in November because of, a major freeze in the market that surprised sellers. And then that's according to recent reports from Redfin, Black Knight, other sources that I'm looking at. So an average of 2% of U.S. homes up for sale were delisted each week during the 12-week period ending on November 20th, the report said. So the share of homes pulled from the market was the highest on record and up from 1.6% during the same period 1 year ago. So, oh boy, get ready. The Fed has been, in my opinion, a big disappointment. We cannot depend on the Federal Reserve. All right. They've been wrong all along. It seems the market might be getting ahead of the Fed, in my opinion, on paper, I stress. Better jobs report, mortgage rates, headed lower for the moment, and bond yields headed lower. We know all the tech jobs, 6-figure tech jobs were lost. These morons are saying, well, the hospitality sector is up, but those aren't 6-figure jobs. So recent home price declines in many markets have left about, as I said, 450,000 homeowners underwater without doing much to ease affordability issues. But, ladies and gentlemen, how high did rates go up? And the key is, are these forever homes? Are these forever homes? And I'll get to that at the end. All told, Black Knight estimates about 1 million homeowners have limited equity in their homes or less than 10%. Yeah, if they're going to stay there for 2 years, but I don't think so. So homeowners with little or no home equity are at, of course, a higher risk of foreclosure if they encounter financial difficulties like job loss or health issues, because it's harder for them to pay off their mortgages by, selling their homes. So yes, defaults are up across the country. I saw that a year ago. This is going to hit 2022, 2023. We have to look at where the base is. The base was low. So lower negative equity may have a marginal effect on mortgage performance in the near term, but these borrowers tend to be more susceptible to financial stress and may face additional challenges under prolonged economic downturn. That's from good old Black Knight. So at roughly 0.84%, negative equity rates among all mortgage properties remain extremely low by historical standards. But home buyers with FHA and VA mortgages are more likely to be skating on thin ice since, they can purchase homes with little or no money down. Zero. It's nice VA loans. So Black Knight's data shows more than 20% of home buyers who took out FHA or VA purchase mortgages this year are underwater, and 2/3 have less than 10% equity. So that sector, that vertical, there are some concerns. Early payment defaults among FHA borrowers who missed the payment within 6 months of taking out a loan are on the rise and now exceed pre-pandemic levels, ladies and gentlemen. So while that could be an early indication of more trouble ahead, if you look at holistically, the overall national delinquency rate remains well below the historical average of 4.54%. So the national delinquency rate for first mortgages was up 12 basis points from September to October to 2.91%. But, Hurricane Ian appears to have driven about 1/3 of that increase, with delinquencies in Florida up 53 basis points to 3.42%. So if we look at select markets, some interesting movements and migration things going on. So in markets like Colorado Springs, Colorado, and Honolulu, more than 30% of homes purchased in 2022 are now underwater, thanks in part to high, concentrations in those areas of VA loans. So while mortgage rates have come down a bit in the last few weeks, the pace of price decline has slowed considerably, and housing affordability remains a near, probably decade low. So if we kind of looked at some stuff, if we look at the top 10 least affordable markets, pay-to-income ratio. Of course, the highest appreciation rate state in the country is California. That's going to be on the list. Number 1, Los Angeles, 73.6%. Number 2, San Diego, California, 65%. Number 3, San Jose, California, 63.3%. San Francisco, California, 57%. Las Vegas, Nevada, 53.8%. Miami, good old Miami, 51.9%. Number 7, New York, 49.5%. Number 8, Riverside, California, 48.7%. Number 9, Seattle, Washington, 47.9%. And number 10, Sacramento, coming in at number 10, California, 46.5%. So now we can transition to the top 10 most affordable markets. I looked at, we talk about investing. The top three great opportunities for investing right now, ladies and gentlemen. So the most affordable markets right now, I think these are the top 3 for investing for me. Number 1, St. Louis, Missouri, 24.5%. Detroit, Michigan, 25%. Number 3, Cleveland, Ohio, 25.7%. Number 4, Kansas City, Missouri, 25.9%. Number 5, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 26%. Number 6, Cincinnati, Ohio, coming in at 26.1%. Number 7, the Windy City, Chicago, Illinois, my hometown, 26.3%. Number 8, Louisville, Kentucky, 27.3. And number 9, a lot of memories, a lot of good times, Cream City, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, coming at 27.4%. And number 10, rounded it out, Baltimore, Maryland, 28%. So listing shortages right now, as we all know, are keeping home prices from falling more dramatically in many markets at the national level. 3 months of stalled inventory growth continued in October with a volume of new for sale listings down 19% from pre-pandemic levels. Good old Fannie, Freddie, they've been wrong in the past, right? So Fannie forecasters don't see home sales rebounding until 2024. National Association of Realtors expects 0% growth in 2023. It's going to be a lean year in 23. I'm leaning towards that. And they're warning of a lock-in effect, the financial, for existing home owners to put their homes on the market, move and take on a new mortgage could dampen the strength of the recovery. People are going to be in a holding pattern. Lower negative equity may have a marginal effect at this point on mortgage performance in the near term, but these borrowers tend to be more susceptible, like I said, to financial stresses, additional challenges under a prolonged economic downturn. And this is done by design, which is worrisome now. We know that with the inflation, with the supply chains, the war doesn't help, and I could go on and on. So it is nerve-wracking what's going on. So keep this in mind. Homeowners need to stop refreshing their Zillow estimate and relax, or go buy Bitcoin and purchase an island in the Caribbean to hold your Lambo next year, ladies and gentlemen. The median U.S. homeowner stays in their home for a little over 13 years. This is the point I want to get across. Why would someone who bought their home in the past 2 years even care about these stats? Right? Who cares? Who cares? 2022, for my clients outside of California, whatever, and I'm talking to people about this stuff and friends and colleagues, if you're talking to clients and you have that conversation and you're like, well, are you looking for a forever home, or are you planning to try to make some money on this and get out in 2 years? I strongly recommend mid 2021 and 2022, if you're not looking for a forever home, to not buy. I am not a greedy person. I've told clients not to buy, but if you're looking to stay 5+ years, then it's worth the risk. Absolutely 100%. I believe in home ownership, but I have personally, and I fight for clients and fight them on that, but if they really want the home, like I said, and it's something they've dreamed of and this is what they want for their life and they're going to stay there a long time, I've never paid over asking for a house. I think it's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. Select markets, yes, it's necessary. And right now, in select markets in the United States, stuff is still going for over asking in competitive markets. So, you paid over asking by $500,000 in 2022, but there's people with the VA, and then there's really wealthy people that don't care, and this is a home they want. They're going to stay there 5 or 10 years, and they paid over asking. I get it, but that's the point I want to get across, is a lot of these people want to stay in these homes for 13 years. So the equity position is down to 10% or less. It's not too concerning. Defaults are up across the country, 100% in the United States. The base was low, up over 700-800%, but that is concerning right now. This inflation has not been tamed, and they want to keep it high in 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, it's well over 15%, not this bullshit of 8%. So that's concerning. There's a lot of moving parts right now, but overall, we all know how important the housing is to the overall economy, and it's a driver. There's a lot of triggers out there right now that's concerning. But this data right now, like I said, it's very micro, not too concerning at this point, but keep an eye on it. Take care.